welcome to this tutorial on setting up split screen in Unreal Engine 5 and how to basically get it working with controller or just a keyboard for player 1 and a controller for player 2 and even sharing controls. So without further ado, let's get going. Now the first thing I'm going to do is make a game mode. The benefits of making this in the game mode is that you won't have to copy and paste it between each level that you make, which seems like a bit of a benefit to me. Some tutorials show you doing this, and to be honest, I think it's just a bit of a waste of time personally. So we're just going to make a game mode to circumvent copying it from level to level. So if I right click, go into Blueprint class, you see game mode base here. If I select that, and then I can make a new game mode. We'll call this BP for Blueprint, and then split screen mode, something like that. You can call it whatever you want, but that's what I'm going to call mine. Open this up, and there's a couple of things I'm going to change here. So where it says player controller class, change the player controller to this Blueprint third person player controller, so it'll work with this setup for the third person game I've got here. And in here, the default pawn class, change that to be the third person as well, BP third person character. So you should have player and controller and character there. Compile that, save it. So that's that bit out of the way. Now, if you go into world settings, this is because I'm reusing the third person game mode that Epic provide. If I just change that to be my split screen mode in the game mode override within world settings, then everything should be good to go. There's one final thing that you can do. If you go edit, project settings, maps and modes, and then just make sure that that default game mode is also the split screen mode. So it means that whenever you create a different level or anything, it should default to that instead. You can do file save all, but I think it just saves it anyway. So if I go back to the level that I'm working on, and then if you press play now, it won't make any difference. But if you go into the BP split screen mode and then in the event graph, you should have a begin play. And if you drag off the event begin play and do create local player and just leave this as is for now. The controller ID is set to -1, which means it'll create its own controller. So you can, in theory, create extra controller IDs, but I wouldn't worry about that. It just makes it harder work, basically. So if you just compile that, hit save, close that. Now, you'll see if you play, you will get 2 players. And if you've got 2 controllers, like I just happen to have, you should, if I click into that space, be able to control one player with that controller and the bottom player with the other, although it's not working. And this seems to be a common problem. And when you hit escape, you will notice some error messages. They're not particularly useful error messages. Well, they kind of guide you where you need to go, but it's a bit vague still. So if I click on this error message, I'll go back into my Blueprint third person controller, or if you don't do that, you can just go over here, look in third person under the content browser, look in the blueprints and find your third person controller. Open that up, and you will see, let me just make this a bit bigger. You will see Actually, let's dock it. Event begin play, and it goes and asks, is this a local controller? And if it's true, it'll use the enhanced input system. Now, for whatever reason, the way the Epic's changed this, it now doesn't like using split screen and event begin play. To fix it, what you can do is if you right click and search for, I think it's on possess. Yep. So you find this event on possess and you put that into your level. Now don't worry about possessed pawn. Just leave that alone. What you want to do is disconnect the begin play and instead use the on possess and just pull that into the branch here. Compile, save. If you go back to your level, hit play. Now instead of getting the error and not being able to move, I can move with that controller there on one player, and the other player can move with the other controller. So we've successfully got it working. And if I move them both together, you see both characters are moving around. But player one is also tied to this keyboard and the controller. And we don't really, well, some people don't really want that. But there is a very, very simple fix. If you go back into project settings, so edit project settings, or if you've got a tab open, you can click on it. And then just look for maps and modes. Now, this also gives you some options here to turn off using split screen and how to set the split screen in terms of how the layout looks. I'm happy with it as is, but you can select vertical or horizontal. You can say if it the second player, sorry, the third player even appears on the top, bottom, vertical, horizontal, or basically any combination of that. But if you keep going down, you'll see skip assign gamepad to player one. Now, if you just click that and then go back to the level and play it, now I can use keyboard for player one and the controller for player two. But what also that means is that because I've got two controllers and a keyboard, if I then go, sorry, beg your pardon, go back into the game mode that we made right at the start, and just copy this create local player and paste it here and add it into the actual active blueprint, compile it and save it, and go back in, and I get three characters, one that can control the keyboard, even though I'm stuck in between those ones, one that can control with one controller, and the other that I can control with the other controller. So I've actually got three controllers, three players there that can control separately. So that is pretty cool. So we have what we want for now, but in part two, what I'll be covering is using one input, so say the keyboard, for both players, which is something that some people might actually want to do with their game mode. So that's it for now. I'll see you in part two.